G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today we are on Dry Arabia to watch two of the world's best players face off. This is not the ranked ladder, no ladies and gentlemen, this is EGC TV's Elite Classic number 3. I'm excited, you're excited, so let's get into it and introduce our players for today. Spawning in the north of the map, in the colour pink, playing as the French, representing Team Elephant, it's Louis MT. And in the south of the map, in the colour blue, playing as the House of Lancaster, the English variant, representing Team M8, it's MarineLorD. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game, a very, very good casted game. I'm sure it's going to be. I tell you what, I'm in a really good mood. Sorry, look, I don't normally like to bring politics into things, but Australia's just recently had an election, and it's been probably like the biggest landslide election, at least that I can remember, for quite a while. I think maybe back in 2013 there was a pretty big one as well. But at least this time it's gone a better direction. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. And look, I'll let you guys do some Googling if you want to. But yeah, anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about what we have got going on today, of course. We're watching EGC TV's Elite Classic 3. This is one of the games from one of the series that happened over there in recent times. So make sure you go check it out. After this video gets posted, about 2 to 3 hours after it gets posted, EGC TV is actually going to be live over on Twitch. So I'm going to leave a link in the description to where you can watch it live. But look at what we've already got. We're starting to see this, the rise of the Dark Age meta for the House of Lancaster. And I love this so much. I think it's such a smart move, especially against a civilization like the French. A civilization that is going to want to get cavalry out, that's going to want to be annoying, probably going to try and pressure your gold, pressure onto your stone, prevent you from getting those manners up. And because of that, by getting out, getting aggressive early on, not only do you annoy, not only do you frustrate, not only do you push off balance, but you also prepare. You prepare for that inevitable night that will come out. And look at this, Louis MT doesn't even care right now. He's having a good old time right here. He's just gathering up the gold. Now, he's gathered up 152 at the moment. We do see he's got allegedly 5 bills on gold. He's actually rallying out a couple more here before the majority of these spears come through. Second spear on the way through here. Quite a bit of stabbing that is going on for the moment. MarineLorD definitely having a pretty solid early game. We'll say that much. Getting a lot of damage onto these villas, but no villagers taken out just yet. There's the third one. Apologies, there was 2 spears stacked on top of each other. I was going to say, I thought I saw a second. Oh my lord, that was a lot of damage onto that single spearman right there. That vill's going to be going down. There's no way. There's no way. All right, he's going to try for the surround. Louis does get enough gold to age up in the end. So at this point, Louis in a bit of a hard spot, but fortunately for him, he hasn't lost any vills. So we have seen, oh my god, look at the health on these vills. These villagers are one yeoman shot from death. That is scary. Now, normally with these vills, these are going to be the vills that you keep around the town center, the vills that you make sure they're not doing anything but joining the farms. That's pretty much it. So I'm curious to see what the game plan is going to be for Louis. He's going to look to age up, and I love this. Such amazing reaction by Louis. Look, this map, typically, you're not going to want to do trade, but there's a couple of big factors here. First and foremost, you have got big pressure early on from spearmen. So you know that, okay, if I go School of Cavalry here, what can I do? Well, I can make a horseman. I can make a knight. Well, I can't make a knight because I don't have any gold. Actually, do I need to switch these over? I do need to switch these over. There we go. So that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, he's not able to make any cavalry here just because he doesn't have the gold for it. He could make horsemen, but obviously horsemen not going to do particularly well against spearmen. So because of that, he says, okay, what we're going to do instead is we're just going to start trading. And I think this is so smart because there's actually a really favorable position on the trade post here. And obviously he knew that. He's playing the French. But if you compare that to Louis or to MarineLorD on the other side, it's taken some time. Like, he had to make the decision to put down the barracks immediately. So he can't naturally know, okay, there's a trade post that's very favorable here. So if I force my opponent into trade, that's going to be a good thing for them. The point I'm trying to make is that sometimes this trade post will spawn like over here in the middle of the edge of the map, and because of that, it makes it a lot less favorable to trade. You don't get such a good return on investment. Whereas here, you're going to get incredible return on investment because all you need is that single market in this back corner, and that's all you're going to need to power up your economy. But the bad thing is for Louis, I don't know if MarineLorD spotted it out. He hasn't spotted it out yet, but this boar is perfectly positioned for some shenanigans you're going to see. I guess there's technically a world where Louis could look to throw a market down on this this side, but it's a little bit harder to defend, so I suspect that wouldn't be the case. We do now see an archery range going to be coming up for Louis, so I suspect he will be looking to put on some pressure early on. Keep in mind with the Chamber of Commerce that it's going to be providing you those free traders for each eco-tech that you've researched. So if you've got wheelbarrow as an example, then it's going to give you a free trader. If you get horticulture, that'll give you another free trader. If you pick up forestry, that'll give you a free trader. So definitely want to focus on getting that economy up and running, and we start to see stable archery range coming up. On the other side of the map, of course, MarineLorD has aged up as well. Really good timing here for MarineLorD. Beautiful timing. About the 5-minute mark for him. Maybe a little bit after. And yeah, so far, so good. We got Spearman on the way back here. He's actually going to be looking to do a bit of a deer push with these Spearmen. And this is great that we're seeing this. We're starting to see this more and more often. And this is one of those sort of high APM things that you require. Because, like, obviously you're doing a lot of other things in your base as well. So to be able to do this on top of that, it really only starts coming in at around the Conqueror 3 level plus. Add a couple of pluses on there. I think this is something I might have a little bit of trouble with. And we've also got all the deer that have been taken out in the middle. I suspect that MarineLorD has intentionally done this just to prevent Louis from actually pushing these deer, which is a pretty smart move. So very well played by MarineLorD. So far, if you had to give an advantage to either of these players, I don't think you could really say it's gone one way or the other. I think MarineLorD has done well in that he's forced Louis to play something that he wasn't expecting to play. But at the same time, I think Louis has adapted really well to this so far. And we can now start to see we've got archers moving out together with the Vils. My biggest focus for Louis right now is to actually kill this boar. I would be wanting to get rid of this boar immediately, dude. This represents such a big threat to my potential trade. So hopefully he looks to do that. You can see he's out here scouting still. He's just going to drop the marker down right at the edge. Is he looking to wall? What's the go here? He is going to put the marker down, but he's not going for right in the back of the corner. That's an interesting decision. So just looking to get it straight across the back. Scout is out here. He will see the trader. So confirmation of the Chamber of Commerce is through. And now on the side of MarineLorD, he's got a decision. So in my mind, this is something that's sort of come up a couple of times, right? Like, how do you beat the House of Lancaster? This civilization that is a powerhouse when it comes to your economy. A civilization that obviously just likes to focus on one TC and then just build up a huge amount of menas. Try and find a nice little timing around that 15 to 20 minute mark and really just do a lot of damage. They can go Imperial. They've got heaps of options. You can add in a second or third TC eventually. There's so many different ways that you can play them. And one of the ways that sort of started bubbling up was this idea of trade. Because a second town center right now, it's going to pay off. Even for the French, it will pay off, and you'll be able to do it. But the trouble that you're going to have is that manas pay themselves off very quickly. Now, manas are a static amount compared to a town center, which pays itself off over time, and that increases the more villages you've got, whereas a mana is a set amount. But because of that, it pays itself off very quickly. And because of that, there's definitely a timing window where you've got more resources than a 2TC. So by going in for trade, you're basically able to keep your investment quite low with regard to trade, but still at the same time, you're able to build it up. And obviously with the French, you've got the flexibility to choose which resource you'd like to have on your traders. So quite a powerful early tool here that we do see. And now horticulture going to be coming through on the side of Louis MT. We can see immediately into the queue goes that free trader. Back towards the front, though. We'll keep an eye out on exactly how they look to play this and position this. The knights have started to come out for the French. So it naturally means that Louis is going to try and take out some villages eventually if he can get around there. We do have multiple scouts out as well, so he's definitely being aware of everything that the enemy is up to. But at this stage of the game, we only see Spearmen out for MarineLorD. Now, he's thrown down a triple racks back at home. So all three production buildings are just going to be focusing on getting that infantry out yet. Now, keep in mind, he will have access to the Earl's Guard in the Castle Age, but of course, that's still quite a way off. He's also got the ability to call the nobles, muster the nobles, and we now see that coming into queue. So you can see he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that sounds, was there a sixth? There's no sixth mana up just yet. And he's obviously got the ability to have that sixth one, but doesn't quite have the stone for it. He's just given up and said, you know what, 5 will do me. I don't need the sixth one. Interesting decision. I always felt like 6 was the appropriate breakpoint. There was never a world where I thought, you know what, I'm just going to make 5 manas and stop. It just, I think because you've got like the open field system and you've got the upgrade before it, it just doesn't feel like it makes a whole lot of sense to stop there. But I'm not going to judge a man by the talents of MarineLorD. Let's just put it that way. He knows what he's doing. He knows what is up. Upgrades on the way for him as well. We see survival techniques coming through. He's pushed all the deer underneath the town center. An extra 2,300, 2,400 food that's now going to be in his kitty. At the same time, we've seen Louis move out on the map. Going to be dropping down an outpost here. Bit of an awkward spot for that outpost, but mainly just going to be used to protect these villagers. Wants to make sure they're not going to be going down. I love these walls coming up from Louis, and I'd love to see more walls coming up. Like, there's some really good opportunities. A wall here, a wall across this stone. You can wall across over to here. There is a beautiful opportunity, even up across here. Like, this is just asking to be walled. And now you can see the consequence of not getting those walls in by Louis is that MarineLorD's going to be able to waltz in, and he's going to be able to head down that trade line and start cleaning up. The scout is brought back as well, so on the side of Louis MT, he sees nothing except death, at least until it's on his doorstep. And then, finally now, he looks to continue. That's going to be the first of the traders that go down. Second one now going to be worked down. You can see the Demi-Lancers take a little bit of convincing to actually get their damage into the enemy units. But we do have more traders back here, so that's going to be 2. Now, there's quite a few traders that are out. I believe he's actually training traders as well. So if we take a look here, he's got 7. So yes, if he had 9. So he would have had to have been trading traders. Meanwhile, Demi-Lance is going to be catching out some of these traders towards the backside. He's pulled them all in, Louis has, and said, okay, we got to hold the phone for the moment. You've also got a whole bunch of archers out here. A little bit dangerous. You know, there's not necessarily the risk of hobblers just yet, but I will say that, you know, you're playing a little bit with fire here. Playing a little bit with fire. You're up against MarineLorD. You know roughly where all of his cavalry is, though. Trader doesn't make it. And Knight's now going to look to try and take out the hobblers. Or rather, the Demi-Lancers, excuse me. Age up coming through here for MarineLorD. We're right on board with him. The second landmark now going to be put down. Well, technically the third landmark. The second age up. Let's go with that one. Knight's on the big charge. Scout gets peeled off. I take it back. It's not Knights. It's Demi-Lancers once again. Spears, how they doing? The spear number's starting to look good. Yeoman getting added in as well. So we've got the first of the archery range back here. A nice control by these archers as they continue to kite through. Louis going to be able to pick off one of these Demi-Lancers. So definitely buying himself quite a bit of time here. Manages to get the 5 mana castle age. Definitely not a build order that I had really considered at all, like when you think about it, right? It's the 12-minute mark, and it's kind of, it's very cool to see the way that this civilization has developed. Age up now coming through, going to be shadow teching these units immediately. We can see they get that shiny extra little bit of barding. Royal Institute coming through on the side of Louis MT definitely makes sense. You're trading, that means you've got the ability to get a lot of gold that comes through, and we can see some of these traders do have gold on them for the moment. So with that extra gold, you're going to be able to buy yourself quite a lot of upgrades. So definitely worthwhile doing it. It's always tough justifying the Royal Institute on a single town center, but I tell you what, if you're trading, you can definitely justify it. Louis now adding in even more traders. How many are we up to now? 11 traders, so the number continues for Louis. As I said, I would love to see more walls come up because there's always the threat of hobblers. And I feel like this is probably the most underused component of the House of Lancaster, just because there are so many reasons why the hobbler is incredible for dealing with trade. So number 1, it's the fact that they're quick, but number 2 is the extra charge damage that they get. So basically, you can just run up the entire trade line and just charge into trader after trader after trader, and we've never actually seen anybody do it, despite seeing quite a few games where players have gone trade against the House of Lancaster. So hopefully we see it today from MarineLorD. Upgrades have started to come through, so Spearmen have been upgraded to Veterancy. They've also got the Billman upgrade. The Yeoman, of course, yet to be upgraded just yet. Wheelbarrow on the way for our House of Lancaster player. At the same time, for our French player, Louis MT, we do see Veterancy coming through for him on both the Knights as well as the Archers, and +2 ranged armor. Now that those Demi-Lancers have managed to make their entire way back around the battlefield and now make it up towards these traders. And once again, behind enemy lines here, looking to try and deal with all of these traders. And indeed, we'll be able to spot them out. MarineLorD, of course, going to be very happy with the amount of traders he's done, or at least, sorry, the amount of traders that he has taken out. Let's go with that word instead. But yeah, so far he's doing a pretty decent job. I think one thing to note with traders though is, like, you got to be very careful with trade, and the trouble is you pretty much have to be doing this all game, right? Like, MarineLorD can't ever drop the ball. He has to be constantly shutting down trade. You can't let the trading opponent have a waking moment where they are not worried that you're going to be hitting them on some part of their trade line. it just, you can't do it. You have to be constantly hitting them, constantly trying to keep them down, because if you allow them to get ahead on the trade count, things just go from bad to worse. They spiral out of control, and they spiral so quickly. They spiral so quickly. All right, we've got Collar of SS coming through now for MarineLorD. At the same time, on the other side, we have Royal Bloodlines coming through for Louis MT. So we'll check in with him and see how he's doing, as those number of knights will continue to rise throughout this castle age. Third stable going to be thrown down as well. At least I think that's a third stable. Yeah, it's a third stable. All right, we got the numbers all right. And now the wall's going to come through. So he's opted for just the one big one. Not going to be playing Connect the Dots today, even though I much prefer it. I kind of prefer Connect the Dots because you can keep things a little bit closer, so it makes it easier to defend. Like, compared to this, it's a little bit harder to get out here and get all the way. But once again, unfortunately, Louis going to be regretting not putting down those walls from the very beginning of the game. I know many players do enjoy doing it, but now making his way through, he grabs his first villager kill, Louis MT, of the game right there. Crossbow's going to start to build up here as well. Spearman, crossbow, yeoman, an incredible combo. We'll switch it over to income per minute, get a bit of an idea on where these two currently sit on those income numbers. At the moment, you'd say 1,100, 1,800. We'll give him 1,900 on the side of MarineLorD. Meanwhile, geez Louise, 2,500 on the side of Louis MT. He is absolutely flying when it comes to the income. He is very far ahead. Royal Institute about to complete those Royal Bloodlines. Meanwhile, we've got a little bit of a switcheroo in the army. Have a look at this. Louis is down in the base of MarineLorD. MarineLorD up in the base of Louis. And, of course, behind enemy lines, we've still got these pesky damn demi-lancers. These dammy-lancers. Let's just... Sorry, I had to. Outpost is going to spot out exactly where this army is moving. Scouts here with it as well, so they're going to know exactly where that outpost is. And now the Knights looking to finally clean up these demi-lancers in the back. A couple traders here might go down, but looks like he should get past them. Outpost about to be sieged down. Knights going to move back to try and cover. I suspect they're probably not going to have much luck against this military because, well, it's largely spears, and spears, of course, are very troublesome. Now, keep in mind, Royal Bloodlines is through, so we've got a lot of extra health on these Knights. In fact, there's so much health on these Knights that even with the Collar of SS, I don't think it really matters that much. That if you've got, you know, if you've got your own cavalry units that have got the Temple of, or sorry, have got the Collar of SS, it's not really going to change much. But I guess for the demi-lancers, you know, you get the extra 6 heavy, which is kind of nice. More upgrades on the way through. Chivalry coming in. Lumber preservation and fertilization going to be coming through. At the same time, fertilization and +2 ranged attack on the way now for MarineLorD. No real big battles yet to impact, yet to unfold just yet. They've both been slowly building up as the Wallalol gets thrown down. A little bit of a beastie Wallalol right here. The Wallalol for distraction. Just any little bit of APM you can force away from your enemy could be the difference. And I think that's part of the reason why they do it, because they're looking, they're like, where is that? They locate it and they say, oh, okay, you know, never mind, it's okay. One little villager on the run right here. Louis gonna try and chase it down. Stabby, stabby, my friend. No charge for you. Let's see. Oh, he gets the second. Get line of sighted. Wow, around a single tree, Louis MT comes up empty-handed. That is a sad day to be a Louis MT fan, my friends. That looked like almost certain death. He'd even brought out the lance for a big charge. Spearman number 1 gonna go down, or rather, knight number 1 gonna go down. Knight number 2 manages to make it out. The rest of the knights gonna get out the back here, and you can see he's just under pressure from all sides. And I think right now, if MarineLorD pushes, he could be in a wonderful position. I'd love to see like a mangonel added in right now. Maybe even a second, like 1 or 2 mangoes would just be perfect to seal the deal here. One thing to note, though, is MarineLorD's only at 5 out of 6 manas. He never opted for that next level of manas, never opted to go up towards 9. So he's just still chilling on basically like the halfway mark for your mana number. So he's definitely not as focused on the economy as most Lancastrians. Lancastrians? Is that a word? I don't know. We can make that a word. It sounds like... What's that thing where they... Oh no, that's different. Don't worry. I was thinking of castration. Sorry. It's kind of close though. Lancastrian, Lancastration. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move forward. Relic split 3-2 in favor of MarineLorD. And I think at this point, I'm still kind of thinking that the advantage is in Louis MT's favor. But I think that MarineLorD is like 1 mangonel away from being in favor, or like having having his potential chance to win. I think that's the big difference here. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just too much of a believer in the mangonel, but I just think, especially when you're running like a spearman crossbow combo, it's just so nice having the mangonel to help you out. A couple crossbows back here. You can see he's got all the villagers just going to stand here and fight with him. A spear going to be helping out, and so much armor on this damn unit. Billman's going to be fortunately helping out. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, we do see more knights and a scout making their way around the bottom side of the base. Still no walls in, despite, look, yeah, you can see MarineLorD's going to realize this is such an easy wall to do. It costs such little wood and does so much, because now it means that this army intercepts this. These never get behind. That Ville's going to die. Every Ville's going to die. Louis MT's going to kill all the Villes. Don't do it, Louis. Don't do it. Knights looking for a big charge. Going to be able to find it. We'll be able to clean that one up, that's for sure. But now a little bit of a trap behind. Oh, MarineLorD may have found a way to do it. No, never mind. Louis is just going to come out the way he came in. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Louis MT. He does it again. He's happy. So this is increasingly becoming more difficult for MarineLorD, I would say. Wait, hold your horses, Drongo. He's found a beautiful little spot. That's one that goes down. Get some decent damage on the second. Not really. Meanwhile, towards the front, look at this. Louis MT going for a runaround. We got a red palace in the middle of the map on a big gold. Don't mind if I do. It also kind of protects the sacred site. You could go up a little bit more, Louis, but I'll allow it. That is a beautiful spot that he's got right there. Now, keep in mind, if there was a mango, I mean, if there was a mango, you're still kind of in trouble, right? Like, because you can't push out of your base. You're just getting constantly rammed from every single side. Well, not rammed, knighted, but, like, you got the idea, right? Like, how do you push out when you've got this kind of pressure in your base? You can't garrison your villes. You don't have the space for it. There's no safety here. So you would have to get walls up. And the trouble is, even if you've got palisade walls, like even this wall up over here, okay, that makes a bit more sense. If you go for a stone wall, then all of a sudden, you're fine. The trouble is, though, you still don't have those mangonels. He does have the second TC, which I find really interesting. He did also look to pick up some additional manners, but that age up's now come through. The red palace, a beautiful position. And Louis MT, honestly, I think his position is arguably the better position right now. In fact, I would say Louis is in a much better position than MarineLorD. I feel like MarineLorD's missed his window. The other thing to note is Louis has definitely been carried away with trade. Like, he's at 22 traders. It's not that crazy trade number, but like, this is the issue, right? Where you need to be constantly attacking trade, and if you're not, they're gonna get carried away. Interestingly, merchant guilds soon, maybe. It's an Imperial Age tech, so maybe he'll get it soon. Elite upgrades coming in for the Royal Knights. Gonna try and make their way behind the scenes. MarineLorD once again managing to find all the traders. One of them fortunately scoots on through. Second one not gonna be so lucky. Billman able to do some decent damage here. Never mind. The one trader managed to make it away, but we got spears and those Earl's Guard managing to dish out some damage. Really not a lot, though. A little bit of a waste here from MarineLorD, but definitely, I mean, if anything, it's a bit of a distraction, right? A little bit of a miss macro as well. He's sitting on an extra 3k gold. He's obviously going to be looking for an age up here, but still quite a bit of gold. Meanwhile, the push is really starting to come to shove in the middle. Neither player with any siege yet to roll in, but I don't know if you need siege with this many elite knights. Louis MT is going to be looking to commit. This is going to be our first big battle of the game right here. Hold on. He's decided against it. Archers going to be able to clean up without too much of a hassle, and indeed they're going to go for it right there. Louis MT says, give it to me, baby. And MarineLorD says, and he goes the other way. All right, don't worry. We'll get him to fight eventually. And this is the issue when you've got no siege. When you've got no siege, you can't really force the fight like this, because when the siege is pushing, you kind of feel like, I've got to go and defend. I gotta get out there, otherwise my buildings are gonna die. And now looking to chase all the way through the base. The French army on the heels of the English variant civilization, looking to make the connection with the yeoman, manages to do it. The spearmen come forward, the crossbows unload. Spearmen now towards the front. All sacred sites going to be taken in the midst. A beautiful little concave he's got right here. Concave, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but a little bit of a choke point that he's got. Going to try and hold with these spearmen, with their Billman upgrade, working underneath this beautiful landmark as the age up comes through. It's going to be the Berkshire to save him. It's going to be the Berkshire to hold in the back of the base. Is it going to be enough for MarineLorD? He's absolutely been caught out of position. And finally, he's able to defend. He's able to hold. The Berkshire does it for him. The one saving grace in this defense of the House of Lancaster. Boy, oh boy. We're starting to get a little bit epic here. I can feel the way these battles are raging. Both players so damn skilled when it comes to this level. Keep in mind, these are the very best in the world, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to the rank ladder, Louis MT currently ranked number 2. I don't actually think MarineLorD is on the rank ladder. He doesn't actually play ranked because, well, we're not good enough for him. He only scrims against, like, the best, other best people in the world. he's won countless tournaments, all right? I assure you, if you haven't heard of this guy, he's very good. He's very good. All right, middle of the map. Let's check in with Louis, see how he's doing. Obviously, he's getting all the upgrades that you would typically get. Meanwhile, on the other side, we've got a little bit of Scootage coming in, a little bit of Burgundian imports, and we've also got our Spearman upgrade as well. So every single big-ticket item is coming through. Now, one thing to note is I don't see a Tithe Barns yet. No Tithe Barns just yet. He does have the double monastery, so keep an eye on it. I would suspect it probably comes in within, like, the next 20 seconds. Yeah, MarineLorD? Maybe? Maybe? Anyway, he's dropped the second TC, which means Vill count is going to continue to rise for him. But keep in mind, he's up against the French, so they're training villagers faster. But not only that, he's also up against French trade, which means that that Vill count is already quite high. And now you can see just how hard this is starting to get for MarineLords. Louis looks to attack on multiple sides. Berkshire is going to help out with a little bit of defense here. Tithe Barns on the way for Louis. Elite crossbows on the way for MarineLorD. Priority is going to differ here as he looks to push out over on that east side. Spearman about to be upgraded. Get those upgrades in. Get those golden helmets, baby. You'll love to see it. Meanwhile, towards that south side, still, we are pressuring. We're trying to find a way through. And I suspect if he wanted to, he could find one. And indeed, he's going to look to the battering ram. Now, keep in mind, EGC TV is going to be going live in the next 2 to 3 hours, so make sure you check out the link in the description once you finish this video, of course, because you want to know who wins. I want to know who wins. This is increasingly looking like MarineLorD is not going to be the victor, though. It is looking difficult for him. We'll say that much. I don't know how he pushes out from this. Where does he push? How, like, it just feels like he's under pressure from every single angle. And is this just how you beat House of Lancaster? There's a part of me that thinks maybe it is. Like, you just got to keep hitting them from every single side. Stop trying to punch it down mid and just start hitting the kidneys. Maybe that's the play. Louis MT now working on that backside. You can see the Lancaster Berkshire Palace. The Lancaster Berkshire Palace. The Lancaster Palace. You can see the Berkshire Palace just working its magic here on the army while the Vills are going to try and clear this out together with the Billmen. Of course, the Archer's going to try and prevent it. Meanwhile, we do still have these Knights causing havoc. I tell you what, the story of this game has just been how powerful these Knights are, how frustrating they are to deal with. Vill's not going to even be repairing on the backside. MarineLorD's barely got the wood to repair even if he wanted to, and you can see he's really starting to struggle here as the incendiary arrows for the Archers has come through. They're looking to get their silk bowstrings in as well. MarineLorD pushing out of his base, and it's just felt like he's been uphill this entire game. It's just one of the most beautiful little flexes I've ever seen, just going into this Chamber of Commerce. You know, you force your enemy to play a certain way. It's not even you force your enemy to play a certain way. Like, you countered what they do, and they just pivoted so perfect. Like, that was the perfect pivot. I've never seen such perfection, such pixel perfect pivots. Anyway, you guys get the idea. I'm just trying to throw some alliteration out there with P. It was a good pivot. It was a good pivot. By the way, drink of the day. Let's get some of that in you, ladies and gentlemen. 27 minutes in, and we're standing, by the way. A little bit of a life update for me. It's Red Bull. Let's get it. That's about 40% left. No, I'd say 40% taken off the top. But I tell you what, you're not going to have to worry about 40% right here because MarineLorD, he's looking for 100. Give it to me, baby. All right, Red Bull time. Very good. Very good. It's not the first sip of Red Bull, I'll say that much. MarineLorD trying to snipe down the counterweight Treb. What do we got on the range for these Archers? You can see 6.5 tiles of range now, so they are really letting it go. We haven't seen any synchronized shot in this game just yet. No yeoman out at all. What do we got? Hold on. Elite crossbowman and elite crossbowman. Two different types of elite crossbowman. I don't even know where or how or why. Oh, we got the Trebuchet upgrade. He's got the Trebuchet upgrade from the King's College. Okay. I'm liking it. I'm liking where it's going. So with that, he gets a little bit of extra health. And then I think the second thing is extra damage, isn't it? Oh, extra range as well? I don't think it's extra damage. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Earl's Guards together with the spear. Going to be able to find the Knights to the east side of the map. But not able to do too much damage. Spear's going to try and force them away. How's MarineLorD doing on this west side? Really not that well. I think you could probably go with like a stonewall across the back, but is there even any point at this stage of the game? Crossbow's now going to get caught out by the elite Knights, and still, Louis is just in such incredible control. By the way, we got Sacred Victory approaching. 6 minutes have passed already. 4 minutes remain. Second Treb now coming out. Looking to work its magic down as the Trebs on the south of the keep try and get out. You can see he's focusing down the trebuchets. He knows the key in these late game fights is just going to be taking out the trebuchets. If you take down the trebs, then your enemy can't actually push the position. But now with MarineLorD setting up trebs up here, you can be almost certain that this is where he wants to push through. Spearman, beautiful little hold right here, but Louis cancels the charge so they don't get skewered. Ville's going to be pulled out to repair from the keep. He's got 4 or 5 in there. He's trying to do a ring around the Rosie. In the end, it looks like the trebuchet will stay alive. MarineLorD, he's definitely got a last little bit of hope here as the treb tries to work its way through. Says, excuse me, I've got a keep to get through. I've got to keep my appointments here. 3 minutes to go. 3:22 on the clock. Adjustable crossbars on the way through for Louis. Also looking for Court Architects. Going to help him defend a bit more. Expect to see Mangoes on the way. Indeed, expect to see 5 Mangonels on the way. This man is hungry for siege. You can see he's got heaps of them up in the queues here. Meanwhile, I mean, he's just got such good control. Look at the line of sight on this map right now. Is there any way this guy can lose? Like, if you genuinely look at this and go, nah, like, he's got so many resources, he's got so much map control, trade's already set up, like, all of your goals are already achieved. You've got all the map control, you've got all the trade established, you're working into your enemy's position in every possible way. What is that trebuchet doing? MarineLorD going out for a Sunday stroll, my friend. Unfortunately, you came to the wrong neighborhood. And now, continuing to work down this keep. Keep in mind, it has the Court Architects upgrade, a little bit of extra health, an extra 30% on the top. Louis going to get cleaned up inside that stealth forest. He loses one of the knights. And now over towards that east side, stone walls going to come up. MarineLorD trying to slowly work out the area that he can be flanked from. But this is going to be it. This is pivotal right here. 30 minutes into the game. He needs to make a push towards this sacred site. And Louis just repairing up the sacred site. He's got plenty of stone in the bank. 800 stone, obviously. He's got the ability to trade. He's got infinite gold coming through. Currently more than 2,000 gold in the bank, which means he can just purchase any stone if he needs to. 2 minutes until sacred sites. We don't need trebs. We need bombards. That's what we really need. But now you can see trebs are just going to get taken out from every single side. Louis MT comes from the right, comes from the left, comes from the north. And now MarineLorD in absolute tatters here in this game. He's trying his best to keep it together, but unfortunately, even if he wins this fight, how does he possibly take out the rest? And Louis MT with a huge army, 5 mangoes, 6 mangoes, is collecting mangoes like a Queensland mango maker, mango marketer, mango salesman. Anyway, in the end, it feels almost certain MarineLorD is about to tap. He's trying to make his way towards that sacred site, but with a double keep on it, I can't imagine there's too much of a way he stays in this game for much longer. Let's put it that way. Now, there's other sacred sites he could look to try and play into. Earl's Guard's going to try and work their magic, but ladies and gentlemen, in the end, Louis MT going to come out with the W against MarineLorD. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go and check out EGC TV this evening, 15 GMT, Saturday and Sunday, every weekend for at least the next 2 or 3 weeks, somewhere in that region. Anyway, I'll keep you guys abreast of the news, and we'll let you go now. Bye.